Well, hello everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of The Weird Man from Old Town Arvada, Denver, Colorado. Let's start with a poem. Vertigo. It stands me in the rubble, back to the cliff wall, over the deep, wide vista of crumbling turrets and spires on hundreds feet high towers, with the frozenness of a rabbit caught in the headlights, straining to lift the suddenly heavy camera to my eye and shoot 100 amazing images that I could barely take in until vertigo sets my eyes robotically on the narrow path up the mountainside, hiding the whole world and the falling down through space behind me. God, I resent it. Okay, so far I have suggested from my own experience, both from what I can know about the nature of the human organism and how it all occurs to me, which is somewhat a circular argument, that only some small indirect access to reality is showing. I mentioned in the last episode that I have been looking at the issue of reality and who I am for some decades. In fact, my earliest inquiries date back to when I was 9 or 10 years old. I am trudging down the dry water runoff channel in front of the family farm in tropical far northeastern Australia. I am thinking about some games I was playing that week with my friend Eric. It occurs to me that Eric had quite a different approach to game and how he talked when we were playing. It occurs to me as strange that there was this boy called Eric, of whom I did not inhabit at all. Yet somehow I inhabited and was this boy called Owen. I wondered why this should be so. Why shouldn't I see through the eyes of Eric, of Eric's world? Later that question gave way to the of course response of biological determinism of the self, all tied up in genetically codified structures. Indeed, I've spent the first 3 episodes here talking about how we and our perception of reality is codified and somewhat deterministic. I've also acknowledged that our perception in being a codification of something of reality rather than the something brings me full circle to the question, why don't I see with Eric's eyes? My inquiry now shows up not as an impenetrable biological determinism with structural boundaries, but as a possibility of seeing through Eric's eyes as a developing capacity for deconstructing the codification of I, of attention, and of the ego construction that defends I. Deconstructing the ego, attention, and I seems not a task of will, perhaps not the task at all. Rather, it occurs as a possibility of constructing an ecology of safety of I, a place of vulnerability for I, and a vast space about here from which the attention rarely, and perhaps eventually never, retreats. In the codification of an attention that is perpetually out here, might not some opening up to reality happen so that the perpetual comings can now be shared? So that somewhere where I is expands and loops with that of others? Take a few minutes now to put your attention out here. Out here is not a whimsical place. Your attention needs to light on something. For now, as you train it, avoid allowing your imagination to take you on a journey of your knowledge of vast geographies. These are not out here. Rather, they are part of your internal world. So find the object of your attention. Be out here with it. Stay out here with it. Bye for now.